having been a refugee and having not had any NGOs come to my and other 80,000 Asians' rescue in the transition to places like England, the US, Canada, Australia, what have you. When the opportunity came after graduate school of post-Vietnam War refugees by the thousands, better still, by the millions, pouring into Thailand, which is where I was a Peace Corps volunteer at the time, teaching English at university and teachers' colleges. I grabbed it because I realized, hey, folks, hey, one, I've been a refugee. Two, I've been in the US. And three, I can speak damn good English. I can be a lot of help to all these millions of Vietnamese, Khmer, Lao, Hmong, languishing in refugee camps in Thailand post-Vietnam War. So I jumped in, put in my applications, threw out my resumes, and managed to find jobs with NGOs. And that's how the NGO career started, working in refugee camps in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Indonesia. They didn't quite know what to make of an Indian guy who claims to be an American teaching about American culture in a refugee camp in Philippines, Thailand, and Indonesia. But they liked what I taught, and so it didn't really matter. It was a new home.
And is one of the main reasons why you were teaching them about American culture that they were trying to get a place as refugees in America, for example?
Bound for the U.S. I was working for a U.S. NGO, subcontracted by the State Department, with many different bureaucratic layers, like the Philippine government and the Thai government in Thailand and what have you. It was a multicultural campus of refugees, teachers from Indonesia, in Indonesia's case, instructors and supervisors from USA, Canada, Australia, Norway, what have you, and then interpreters, classroom interpreters from the refugee population. I had a Vietnamese translator, I had an Indonesian teacher, I was an American supervisor, I was dealing with Filipino bureaucracy of government officials, all in the aura of a refugee camp and dealing with how to teach English and American culture to refugees. Here's the caveat. They had to graduate from that course in order to get to the States, irrelevant of whether immigration authorities approved their migration or not. They had to graduate. So it was a double-edged sword in the sense that, yes, it was an academic exercise, but at the same time it was a living, breathing, dangerous exercise in case they failed. Right?
What kind of ratio tended to get through and actually get to life in the States?
95%. Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
So let me backtrack on that and explain to you why for a second. In Southern California, where the first block of refugees ended up, Hmong, by the way, who used to work for the CIA in Laos during the hidden war on Laos, Vietnam War. These people ended up, when Vietnam fell in terms of American eyes. These people were in danger. They had moved to the refugee camp on the Thai border, and they were in danger of being killed because they had helped the CIA, and Laos had fallen to Communist Pathet Lao. So they shipped 2,000 Hmong people and plunked them into Southern California. No orientation, no guidelines, nothing at all about American culture. So these folks are cooking food on making fires in apartments in Southern California. They're eating dog food from the cans in the supermarkets because they don't have a whole lot of money. And shit hits the fan in the media. Hmong people peeing on American lawns is the media. This is how the refugee program starts. Because as soon as Americans are making a big fuss about who are these idiots destroying our way of life, money starts pouring in from State Department, from US, Washington, D.C. This is how the whole refugee program emanates into huge multicultural campuses in Panatnikom in Thailand, in Galang in Indonesia, and in Bataan in the Philippines. We're talking roughly about anywhere from 60 to 70,000 people in each of these camps, going through the training, going through the orientation, going through what it means to be a pre-employment worker, going through understanding how to use a phone, how to rent a house, how to cook, how to this, how to that, so that they have a little bit of an understanding like the Hmong never did in Southern California.